suspended by massless, inextensible, flexible string from a rigid support. So this arrangement is called as a simple pendulum. A heavy particle, we call it as a bob. In practical, simple pendulum, a heavy dense sphere called bob suspended by inextensible string from the rigid support, as you can see in the diagrams. This simple pendulum is an important topic from exam point of view. There can be a question or a problem based on this topic. So the question is for 3 marks, and the question is like this: show that the motion of simple pendulum is a simple harmonic and derive the time period of it. So let us start with the derivation of a period of a simple pendulum. Consider an ideal simple pendulum. Let T dash be the tension in a string, M is a mass of a bob, hence forces acting on the bob are, as you can see in the diagram, mg is a force which is acting in a downward direction, where T dash is the tension in a string which is acting along the thread towards the fixed rigid support. mg we can resolve into its two components as mg sin theta and mg cos theta. mg sin theta, horizontal component of a weight, and mg cos theta, vertical component of a weight. Tension acting along the length of a string towards the support, as we said before this also. Weight mg is vertically downward. So from this we can say that tension T dash is balanced by the force mg cos theta. Factor mg sin theta is acting towards the main position, hence it is nothing but a restoring force. So restoring force acting on a bob is F is equals to minus mg sin theta. Here minus sign indicates that the restoring force and a displacement are opposite to each other. When theta is very small and measured in radian, sin theta is nearly equals to theta. So we can substitute in the above equation so that our equation becomes F is equals to minus mg theta. From the diagram, theta is equals to x by L. Angle is equals to arc of a length of a arc divided by radius. Here length of a arc is x and radius is L. So let us substitute in the above equation. We get F is equals to minus mg x by L. In this equation, m mass of object is constant, g gravitational constant or gravitational acceleration which is also constant, L length of a string which will remain constant throughout the experiment. So m, g, L are constant, so we can say that force is directly proportional to minus x. Hence, as it satisfied both the condition of simple harmonic motion, that is, force is directly proportional to displacement and force and displacement are opposite to each other, we can say that the motion of a pendulum is simple harmonic motion. We know that F is equals to ma. So let us equate the forces. ma is equals to minus mg x upon L. Obviously m will get cancelled from both the side and we will get a is equals to minus g x upon L. Let us find out a upon x that is a acceleration per unit displacement, and that is equals to minus g by L. Acceleration is equals to minus omega square x. So x will get cancelled and minus sign will also get cancelled. So we get omega is equals to g by L, or omega is equal to square root of g by L. But omega is equals to 2 pi by t. Hence 2 pi by t is equal to square root of g by L. From this equation we can find out the value of t as t is equals to 2 pi square root of L upon g. So the expression for a time period of simple pendulum is t is equals to 2 pi square root of L upon g. From this equation, t is equal to 2 pi square root L upon g. We can say that time period, it depends upon length as well as it depends upon gravitational acceleration. Time period does not depend upon mass of a bob, neither it depends upon amplitude. So from this we can form 4 laws of simple pendulum. The first law, law of length, which states that time period of simple pendulum is directly proportional to square root of length of a string. That is, t is directly proportional to square root of L. The law of gravitational acceleration due to gravity is time period of simple pendulum is inversely proportional to square root of acceleration due to gravity. It means that t is directly proportional to 1 upon square root of g. Third law, that is a law of mass, which states that time period of simple pendulum is independent of its mass. Fourth, law of isochronous, time period of simple pendulum is independent of its amplitude. So from one equation we have derived 4 laws of simple pendulum. Let us study a special kind of pendulum called as a seconds pendulum. Now what is this seconds pendulum? The pendulum having time period of 2 seconds is called seconds pendulum. We know that time period t is equals to 2 pi square root of L upon g. So let us substitute t is equals to 2. We get 2 is equals to 2 pi square root of L upon g. So 2 will get cancelled from both the side. For a second pendulums, its length is denoted by Ls. Hence Ls is equals to g by pi square. Using this relation, one can find out the length of seconds pendulum if acceleration due to gravity at that place is known. Note, if we experimentally find out the length of seconds pendulum at a given place, we can determine acceleration due to gravity at that place. So this is about seconds pendulum. Students, we are going to perform an activity in this standard 12 based on seconds pendulum. Up till we have talked about linear simple harmonic motion. Now let us speak about angular SHM and its differential equation. For angular SHM, let us take a heavy metal disc which is fixed from its center to a rigid support by a thin wire. Let rotate the disc through an angle theta so that it will oscillate clockwise and anticlockwise direction. Let theta be the angular displacement, t is a restoring torque? Remember students, as it is a rotating motion is always governed by a torque. Then for angular SHM, torque is directly proportional to minus theta. As we in linear SHM we did, F is directly proportional to minus x. Similarly, we can say that torque is directly proportional to minus theta. So let us add a constant. T is equals to minus c theta. Here c is a constant of proportionality called as torque per unit angular twist. Let the moment of inertia of a disk is I. In the rotational system, mass is replaced by I and linear acceleration is replaced by angular acceleration, which is denoted by alpha. The force acting on a rotating body is given by T or tau is equals to I alpha. So we know that tau is equals to minus c theta and tau is equals to I alpha. We can equate both the equations. By equating both the equations we get I alpha is equals to minus c theta. So rearranging this equation we will get I alpha plus c theta is equals to 0. Putting the value of alpha as d theta by dt is equals to omega, or angular velocity is rate of change of angular displacement and angular acceleration is rate of change of angular velocity. So you can substitute the value of omega. So we will get acceleration as d2 theta by dt square. Hence our equation becomes I is equals to d2 theta by dt square plus c theta is equals to 0. The above equation represents differential equation of SHM. Angular SHM. Time period and frequency in angular SHM. We know that time period T is equals to 2 pi by omega, which is equals to 2 pi upon square root of angular acceleration per unit angular displacement. Hence, it is T is equals to 2 pi square root of A upon theta. If you substitute the value of A upon theta from the equation, then we will get A upon theta or alpha upon theta as C upon I. So T is equals to 2 pi square root of I upon C. So this is the time period of a angular SHM. Frequency, one can find out the reciprocal of this to get a frequency. So this is all about angular SHM. Let us talk about second example of an angular SHM, that a magnet vibrating in a uniform magnetic field. Consider a bar magnet which is placed in a uniform magnetic field. A bar magnet is freely suspended so that it can rotate about its axis. If the magnet is given a small angular displacement theta from its equilibrium position, it will perform angular SHM. B is equals to external uniform magnetic field. If M denotes, capital M denotes magnetic moment of a bar, that is magnetic dipole moment, and theta denotes angular displacement. Then torque acting on a bar magnet in an external magnetic field is given by tau is equals to mb sine theta, where when theta is very small, sine theta is nearly equals to theta, hence tau is equals to minus mb theta. But tau is equals to I alpha, so let us equate both the equation. I alpha is equals to mb theta. From this equation, alpha upon theta is equals to mb upon I. Hence, time period of SHM is equals to capital T is equals to 2 pi upon square root of a by theta. Let us substitute the value of alpha by theta. From the above equation, we will get T is equals to 2 pi square root of mb upon I. By rearranging this equation, you will get T is equals to 2 pi square root of I upon mb. This is about a bar magnet. And the last topic of this chapter is damped oscillation. The oscillations in which the amplitude decreases gradually is called damped oscillation, and the oscillator is called as damped oscillator. If you take a simple pendulum, let us displace the simple pendulum from its mean position. It will oscillate about its mean position. You will observe that slowly the amplitude of SHM will decrease. So this is the example for damped oscillation. Of course, the amplitude decreases due to the air resistance in a surrounding as well as due to a friction which is generated where the pendulum is fixed to the rigid support. So, for a practical purpose, the arrangement of damped oscillator is shown in the diagram. A spring is attached to the rigid support at its one end. The other end is attached to the block which is connected to the van which is dropped inside the liquid. As the van is inserted in a liquid, the liquid will apply a viscous drag force on the van, which in turn slows down the motion of an oscillator or a block. As it decreases mechanical energy due to friction, the energy is lost in the form of heat. Let us talk about differential equation of a damped oscillation. There are two forces acting on the block, neglecting the gravitational force. A force which is acting on a spring is called as Fs, and that is equal to minus kx, and it is nothing but a restoring force. A damping force Fd is equals to minus bv. Here v is the velocity of a block which opposes the motion, and hence minus sign is introduced in the formula Fd is equal to minus bv. So the total force acting on a block is given by the net force F is equal to Fs plus Fd. As the force is equals to Ma, we can substitute the value of Fs and Fd also, and by rearranging the equation we will get Ma plus Bv plus Kx is equals to 0. Here A is a acceleration and V is the velocity. You can write down velocity as dx by dt and acceleration as d2x by dt square. So let us substitute both the values. Then we will get m d2x by dt square plus b into dx by dt plus kx is equals to 0. The above equation is called as differential equation of damped oscillation.